am Larissa. I'm a soul guide, and I help people transform their lives from misery to happiness using your unique soul blueprint. So you might be thinking, what the heck is a soul blueprint? It is the way that our soul wants to grow. Okay, so our soul chooses experiences, difficult experiences, because it wants to learn, because that's the way we acquire wisdom, right? There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. We can be told something, but when we have the experience, we gain wisdom. Okay, so that applies to current day life. And so today I have a message from Jesus and Mother Mary. They are ascended masters, and they want to speak about the Epstein files, ICE, and spiritual bypassing. So I have noticed a lot of creators, not a lot, but I've noticed spiritual creators kind of gloss over without getting into the details of what's going on in our everyday life. And I know this, like what I'm talking about is very like US centered, but this applies to other things that are also going on, also like Free Palestine and other things that are going on in the world. And this is the message, the first message is coming from Jesus. And he really wants us to know what's going on and to, okay, this is from Mother Mary, but what Mother Mary is saying is it's more important to speak with people who are involved than to receive your information from the media. Okay. So there is a lot going on. There has been a lot going on along there has been a lot going on for years, right? Years. This has been going on for years. And there are many people who have already come out, both men and women, about trafficking, about their experience, about unaliving children. And if just do your due diligence, do a little search. What Mother Mary is saying is that it's far more important to speak or listen to victims rather than to not to consume media that is being released to us, okay? So that is a message from Mother Mary that it's going to be really important to get to the source, get to the source. And the files are not the source. They are not the source, okay? That is not the source of what is happening, but those files are a way to bring us down, okay? So this is also from Jesus, right? The files themselves, obviously there's going to be people that read them and, that's fine, like go for it, whatever. But just keep in mind that our government wants to control us with our media. It's what they want. They want it. They want to control us with the media. Okay. And it's really, really important to keep that grain of sand in your mind that the media wants to control us, through the media, through what we receive. And again, just lean into that Mother Mary of there are actually victims who have been sharing their stories for years. And one such person is Kaya Ra. And if if you know of the book, The Sophia Code, she talks a bit about her life and escaping child trafficking and the things that she was put through. She kind of touches on. And she's writing another book right now about those experiences. And there are a lot more people, a lot. And so what Mother Mary is saying is to look for the victims, okay? Talk to the victims, receive their information. And what Jesus is saying is do not be swayed by these things we are given from our government because the government wants us in fear. Okay, so when we are not even just in fear, but also in anger, right? Or in almost like desperation. There's this feeling that we get when we read things or when we encounter media that is so horrific. We get this feeling of what he's saying is like malaise, where you just kind of want to give up. Like, what's the point of doing anything? And that is exactly what they want. Okay. That is what the government wants for us. It's to be so sidetracked by these horrible atrocities that we don't do anything at all. And so what Mother Mary is saying is instead of receiving, what the government is giving us, really reach out to victims, know their stories, because there are two parts to this. number one is we want the knowledge, right? You want the knowledge. You want to know what's going on, right? You don't want to just live in a world where you have no idea, like current events, right? So speak with victims, see, actually find out what it's like, on their side and what they experienced. And the other thing is, as victims come out, and like I said, they have been coming out, so you can find lots of books and lots of talks from different, victims. um, they are creating a light of healing. They create it, like, because they create it within themselves enough to actually share it. They are creating this light on earth. And as we gravitate towards the victims, we also illuminate this light on earth. Okay. So it's going to be way more important for us right now to associate with or interact with the content of victims. Okay, so really boost the people, do not boost the files. Okay, that is just a way to control us. Okay, hi, see you guys in the comments. Where are you? Kashmir, hello. So let me know where you are listening from, watching from. Okay, so that's what Mother Mary says. Really seek the victims, and because seeking the victims is going to anchor light, like on the earth. Okay, so seeking the victims because they're sharing their stories, because they have found the courage to go through these experiences again so that other people know them. Then when you take in that information, you are shining the light, and you can also see how people have, number one, obviously, like how they've been traumatized, right, by what has happened to them, and now you're aware of what's going on. But then number two, you get to share in that light with them. You get to, just by listening, by them seeing the views go up, they get to feel encouraged, like, you know what, I did do this for a reason. I came out and I shared this for a reason, and people are feeling this, and I feel like my heart lighting up as I'm saying this. So it's so important to not focus on the files themselves, but seek out the victims. Okay, that is the message from Mother Mary. And Jesus wants us to know that we are living in like parallel times. Like there are differences, obviously there are differences, like no one's being like hung up on a cross, right? So you don't really have to worry about that. But there are a lot of, what he's saying is congruences between life back then, like in the time of Jesus and Mother Mary, and our lives now. Okay, so think about them. They had like the Romans and everyone, all that stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna get into it. You do your own history, but there was a lot of fear and there was a lot of control, and they just want us to know that like linear cycle of fear and control is still prevalent. It is still being used. It's still like a tool that keeps us down and keeps our minds clouded. And that's what Jesus wants us to know, that it is so important to know what's going on, to be aware of what's going on, but also to still be aware of yourself and your feelings, and to step away when you need to step away, and to, just kind of leave it behind when you need to leave it behind, and to be really aware of how you feel, because it's not a time to like, it's not really a time to fall apart. I mean, we're all gonna fall apart, right? That's our life. We're gonna continue to fall apart and rebuild and fall apart and rebuild, right? But what Jesus is saying is, don't be so overwhelmed that you can't be who you are, because who you are is like a star. You are a light of God. Just like I've been saying this whole week, this is a heart-based year, and being yourself and feeling your feelings is so important. It's so important, vitally important. Like if you want your soulmates, if you want your soul friends, if you want to activate your psychic abilities, you need to tap into your heart, okay? But what Jesus is saying is, do not get so overwhelmed by what's going on in the media, what they are showing us, that you start shutting down, where you just feel like, because it's really easy to reach this point of overwhelm where you're just like, there's nothing I can do. I can't do anything at all, but you can. What Mother Mary is saying is that you can support the victims. Just by getting the book, The Sophia Code by Kaya Ra, you are supporting a victim. And there's so many other books, so many other podcasts, so many other creators who have shared their stories and are continuing to share their stories. Okay, so Mother Mary wants us really to lean into people, and Jesus really wants us to lean into ourselves. Okay, so be aware of your feelings, be aware of how you feel, and all that. Okay, so that's the files, and the next thing is, the frigid cubes. Those frigid cubes. I'm not going to say it, but and this is kind of the same thing, but not really. Right now, we are, okay, this is from Jesus also. Right now, we're going through, okay, right now, we're going through this cycle, and we need to remove ourselves from the cycle. So remember what Jesus said about this linear, fear, anger, and hiding, right? We are in this, and those feelings of fear and anger, they need to be amplified right now, so that we can still, even through the dark times, even through horrible things, we can connect with ourselves, okay? And also, I'm not saying, something else that Jesus was saying was, it's not about you don't have to, how do I say this? There are so many ways to be active. And that's it. There's so many ways that you can contribute your light to society. And that is what is needed. Your light is needed right now. Okay, so the more we think about these horrible things, the more we detract from what we can do, or the more we feel powerless and we're just I can't do anything. We are literally, we are watching on TV. Sorry, it's my allergies. We are watching on TV people being unalived. We are literally watching this. We know of a G side right now. It's happening right now in more than one place. Times are really suffocating us. They're really squeezing us, and this is all by design. So that's the message from Jesus, that this is all by design, and what we can do to help is shine our light. And also, if you feel really upset by these things, then as you turn into your feelings, as feel into yourself, you will all of a sudden these ideas will come up about ways that you can help. Just like right now, literally, I'm just here talking to you guys about it. And that's just one thing that we can do to help each other. And obviously, there are lots of protests, and that's great. So if you want to go out and protest, that's amazing. If you want to organize and reach out to your representatives, that's amazing. All of these things are helpful. But what Jesus wants us to know is, please don't get so overwhelmed, so distracted by what's going on that you feel powerless, because that is the point. That's the point. And Jesus wants you to know that, again, this line of fear and anger, it also goes with that line of you are powerless. And that goes back to the time of Jesus and Mother Mary, and Jesus walking around and trying to support people in remembering their divinity. Okay, I know times are hard. It's so hard to get groceries. I know. But also, you are a powerful soul. You create your life. You have control over your destiny. You can make choices every day that change your life. So that's what Jesus wants you to know. That the fear, the anger, it all, kind of congeals to make us feel powerless. And that is the most important thing that we need to turn away from media. And also, I just wanted to say, it's the same, I just want to drop this, in here really quick. That, the clock app, it's the same, was, turned over for the same reason, because we were getting access to information that our government did not want us to have. We were actually connecting with people in other countries and learning what was going on in their, for them. Think about everything that happened in Ukraine. Think about, what happened in Palestine. And there are actual people telling us what's really happening. And, our government, they don't like us knowing what's actually going on. They like to control the narrative. And so, the message from Jesus and Mother Mary is to lean into people who have had experiences. This is going to be the most important thing for us moving forward, is to not get your information from the news, or just use your discernment, okay? Get information from people, from real people, connect to people, like find people in other places and talk to them about their experiences. And that is the way we learn about what's going on this planet. That's the only way at this point we can understand fully what's going on this planet, is by talking to people who have had experiences, and not by consuming the media that the government wants to feed to us, okay? So you are not powerless. You have the spark and the light of God within you and all around you. And you are here to, leave your mark. You're here to do amazing things. So don't be so dissuaded by what's going on. And just know that the path that you are walking is what Jesus is saying. It's like synonymous. I don't even feel like that's the right word, but it's synonymous to the life that he walked, okay? So walking this spiritual path means that you're also living within people who would rather have you just be quiet and shut up, who would rather have you focused on these horrible things, and then go in press conferences and like literally tell us that they can't prosecute anyone who's done these heinous crimes against children, because it would shut down our government. I mean, geez, if that's not telling you something. But so Jesus wants you to know that you are powerful, and don't be so dissuaded by what's going on. There are horrible things going on, but Mother Mary wants you to know to connect with people and just, be really discerning of how you get your information. And also in this year, this heart-based year, really tap into your heart, okay? So that's all I have for today. I love you guys so much. If you have any comments, leave it below. Any questions, leave it below. I'm Larissa. I'm a soul guide. I help people transform their lives from misery to happiness using your unique soul blueprint. We all have a soul blueprint. Your soul is here and is made and designed to grow and expand based on the experiences that it goes through. Okay, there are lessons and there are gifts within everything that happens in your life, within every single person that is in your life. There are lessons and gifts, and you are meant to rise. You're meant to rise, and there are so many horrible things happening in the world and all around us, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you are a soul. You are a piece of God. You are here to leave your mark in this life. You are here to feel powerful, to be empowered, and to support humanity through whatever it is you choose to do. I mean, maybe it's art, maybe it's singing, maybe it's writing, I don't know what you choose to do, but you are here to make an impact on the world. And you're powerful. You're part of God, and you have the power. All right, I'm sending you so much love. Like I said, leave any comments, questions here. Share this with anyone who might need to hear it. And I'm sending you so much love. Bye.